Fight fans, it's that time, Steven.
Yes, it is.
This weekend.
It's a good fight week.
We got Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, and I believe John Jones, champs, making a return.
And Stipe.
Fighting Stipe, fighting another ex-champ. Man, it feels like a weekend of the old fighters, but fighters nonetheless. Always been a big Mike Tyson fan.
Yeah.
Jake Paul, not so much. But it's going to be interesting, like part of me wants to get excited for this, Steven, but the smarter part of me is like kind of thinking more like, this is a money grab.
Mm-hmm.
This could even be somewhat scripted.
Mm-hmm.
Jake goes to, hey, Mike, I won't, embarrass you or knock you out.
Gotcha.
You don't do that to me, vice versa. We'll give the fans a good show. I'm thinking it could be something like that. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping Mike really goes for it. But let's be honest, Mike Tyson is 58 years old, and he's fighting a guy who's 27 years old, very strong, very much in his prime. I know he doesn't have, a tenth of the skill level that Mike does, but, Father Time is undefeated, and what I'm saying is, I don't know how good of a quality fight this is going to be. Just interesting. I'm just going to keep my eye on it because I'm interested, and I've always been a huge Mike Tyson fan.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Is this a legitimate fight? No.
Yeah.
Do you really think it's going to make or break anyone's career? No. But all in all, I think we're always intrigued because it's Mike Tyson. And you know his legacy. You know what he was and what he still can be. But as you said, here's a 58-year-old legend who's going to fight some, YouTuber. That's basically what he is, because he's never really fought any viable amateur matches.
He's a gimmick boxer.
He never went through the ranks and did what some of these other guys have been doing. I think me and you, Joey, both would have had more respect for him if he just did that. If he went through there and went through the hard knocks of everything, of going through it. But kudos to you. You're training to be a boxer, and you're putting in the time and effort, but you're not putting the time and effort where it counts, and that's in the ring fighting against real fighters. Am I going to watch the fight if I have time? But I don't think so. Am I going to watch some highlights? Probably, because it's just some way to relax sometimes. But that this is just. I hope this is the last one, which I don't think it will be. But all in all, like I said, it's not going to ruin. The only thing that's going to ruin is if Jake Paul gets knocked out. That looks bad for him, but you're not going to ruin Mike's career or legendary boxing career. He's beloved. Exactly. But I agree with you. I think it's somewhat scripted because Jake Paul's the only one that can lose here. That's it. That's really there's nothing more to say. Really, what more are we going to say? It's a gimmick fight. It's if this was 5 years ago, maybe we would have like, oh, did you hear? But we've seen it over and over and over and over and over again.
Well said, man. I'll just be keeping an eye on it. I just out of plain curiosity, I don't think I'll watch it live. Like I said, if I get a notification or hit the YouTube to check out what happened, but I could see something happening like this. I wouldn't be surprised if Mike didn't even finish the fight just because he's simply 58 years old.
Come on.
If he didn't get off his stool after round 5 or 6 and just said, that's enough. Really. And if Jake Paul's smart, the first few rounds he'll just use his jab and be on his bicycle. And when Mike Tyson engages, maybe he'll hold him, because that's the last thing to go is that power. Mm-hmm. That power is real, and Mike has a skill set. I just don't know how quick, how much endurance, and how sharp he can be. So with that being said, I'm just gonna,
I think if you see Tyson just always go to the body, I think that it's scripted. Yeah. Because if it wasn't scripted, he would go for the head. Because I never seen Jake Paul take a real punch. So if you don't see him go to the head, then it's scripted. They're just gonna throw body shots. It's just gonna lean on him, and it's gonna be ridiculous. So.
Right. Yeah. Another fight that won't be as scripted though is the return of John Jones.
I was just going to ask you.
Yeah.
What do you think about this, Joey?
That's another one that's so intriguing, Steven, because both of these guys haven't fought in so long, and these are two of the best to do it. John Jones, many people would say is the GOAT of MMA. He only has that one loss, and that was a disqualification. So we've never seen him lose. Not to mention, as I always said, John Jones, when the going gets tough, he's always able to overcome. And the thing I like about John Jones is when it comes down to it, he's just plain mean. when you need that in a fighter. You know, like he can pull that up when it's called for and just give you that little extra. And but I don't know, Steven. It's interesting because none of these guys have fought in so long, so hard to be good at something you don't do too often. And excuse me. We're going to see if the inactivity and the rust plays a factor in that fight, but pretty evenly matched, two ex-champions, similar in age. You know, I'll be watching that. That one I will watch.
Definitely. As you said, it's very hard for me to pick one because Stipe has been out for so long. I know he wanted to fight for such a long time to fight DC for the third time, or just kind of get back in the ring. And at that point in time, I don't think there's any heavyweights during that time. So it's just more, does he have it in him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he's a lot older. Do I want to go through this? Is this one last hurrah to see if I still have it? Where, you know, John Jones, I think he still needs to build up his legacy. I think people want to say he's the GOAT. I have nothing wrong with that, but you know, he doesn't have a lot of fights. I think Alex Pereira probably has more fights than him in the past 3-4 years than John Jones has had because of just,
easily,
you know, of what he does. But
not to mention Jones put on a lot of weight, and we're going to see how that plays a factor. You know, maybe it slows him up. He's not as agile, obviously as quick. I don't know if the added weight's going to be a factor, so I'm curious to see how that plays out in the fight as well.
Yeah, I just think Stipe is going to come in very well in shape. You know, some of the stuff that I remember about him, he had good hands, hard hands, from what I hear from a lot of people. So I just think it's going to be a good fight. I'm happy for it. I think it's a good fight for both fighters to kind of come out and see where they're at after such a long layoff.
Yeah. No, I think it is a good matchup, and I'll be watching that. I'm sure there's some other good fighters on the card. I haven't had a chance to look, so I don't want to just spitballing. Yeah, I really don't know, but I'll be watching that fight this weekend.
Definitely.
But hey, guys, tell us who you think. Who do you like? Who do you favor in that John Jones Stipe fight? And tell us what you think about the Jake Paul Mike Tyson. Do you think this is a real fight, or is this just a money grab and an exhibition? And both guys are going to play nice and just entertain the crowd. I'm just curious to get your thoughts too.
Definitely.
But hey, we appreciate it. Sniper Sports.
Until next time.
We're out.